The air in the Ngwochi kingdom was thick with anticipation and the sweet, heavy scent of jasmine. Under an impossible sky, where the fierce, fiery oranges of a clear sunset clashed with the soft, white presence of the moon, the kingdom gathered. Their whispers were like a nervous pulse, a mix of awe and deep-seated fear. The ground beneath their feet, the packed red African earth, vibrated with the frantic, rhythmic sound of drums made from aged Iroko wood. Elder Obi, a man with skin the color of rich cocoa butter and a carved wooden staff clutched tightly in his hand, stood before the crowd. He wore a simple, yet dignified indigo-dyed cotton wrapper and a beaded cap. His face, etched with lines of authority, was a grim mask. The oracle has spoken. Obi's voice boomed, cutting through the drumming. To ensure a bountiful harvest and to keep the shadows at bay, a vessel must be chosen. The gods have favored Uri. A collective gasp, sharp and sudden, erupted from the villagers. Kenebeya, a young man with a powerful, lean build and hair woven into thick, clean braids, pushed desperately through the crowd. He wore a simple, earth-tone tunic. His eyes, full of a desperate plea, met Uri's, a young woman whose smooth, dark skin was adorned with subtle gold filigree jewelry. She wore a beautifully patterned, rose-colored Adaya fabric, and her face held a look of resigned acceptance, her fate sealed under the impossible light of the twin celestial bodies. The oppressive heat of the day gave way to a chilling night. The sound of the jungle's hushed whispers filled the air, soon accompanied by the first heavy, pounding drops of an unprecedented rain. Kenebia and Uri met in the shadows of the immense, silent ancient baobab tree. It strung a fortress against the storm. "I cannot escape my fate, Kenebia," Uri whispered, her voice trembling as the rain began to roar. "It is the will of the gods. Did you see the sky? The rain? These are signs." "No." Kenebia's voice was raw with desperation. His face, illuminated by the occasional flash of lightning, was etched with conviction. "My heart tells me this is a lie. There must be another way." Suddenly, a figure emerged from the deeper shadows. It was Nia, the kingdom's outcast sage. She was cloaked in layers of dark, hand-spun fabric and wore a necklace of dried herbs and teeth. Her eyes, holding the glint of ancient, forgotten knowledge, focused on them. "The oracle feeds on fear, but it is not a god," Nia stated, her voice a low, steady sound over the increasing downpour. "It is a vessel, just as Uri is to be. A vessel of a forgotten prophecy. The oracle's power can only be broken by its own truth. You must find the eye of the oracle, a crystal that holds its true form. It is the only way to reveal the lies that have enslaved our kingdom for generations. But beware, it is guarded by the very spirits the oracle has consumed." The cold, ethereal wind now howled, punctuated by the booming cracks of thunder. The rain was a constant, deafening roar. Kenebia and Uri pressed on, their ropes clinging to their bodies, until they reached the mouth of the oracle's lair, a dark fissure carved into the side of a granite cliff. A swirling vortex of raw energy greeted them, its color sickeningly unstable, shifting from a pulsing blood red to a foul sickly green. The figure of the chief priest, a man usually radiating serene wisdom but now twisted by frantic fear, materialized before them. His ceremonial white cotton robes were soaked and plastered to his skin. "Stop," the chief priest cried out, his voice strained and desperate against the elemental fury. "The moon and the rain are not signs of blessing, but of a great imbalance. I have foreseen it. The oracle's power is not a blessing, but a curse that will consume our kingdom. If you proceed, you will not just break a curse, you will unleash a forgotten evil, a darkness far greater than the oracle itself." Kenebia and Uri froze, their minds racing. But the oracle's vortex was already pulsing with terrible hunger, beginning to draw Uri in. They knew they had only a moment left to act. The thunderous roar of the oracle was growing into a final, consuming sound. With a desperate cry, Kenebia pulled the eye of the oracle from his pouch. The ancient crystal pulsed, unleashing a blinding white light that ripped through the vortex, revealing a horrifying truth. The oracle was not a mystical being, but a spectral echo, a projection formed by the combined, malevolent faces of Elder Obi's ancestors, their features twisted into a unified sneer of contempt. Foolish children. You've played right into our hands, the booming voice of an oracle's ancestor echoed. The oracle is a part of us, the elders, a source of power we've hidden for centuries. We draw power from the fear of sacrifice, and the belief of the kingdom is the key to our immortality. Elder Obi himself stepped from the shadows, a cruel, cold smile on his lips, joined by his acolytes. They were no longer masked by wisdom but revealed as complicit traitors. They seized Kenebia and Uri. It is time for you to become one with the oracle, little vessel. Obi sneered. Uri, finding a newfound, fierce strength, thrust a hand outward. A powerful wave of pure, brilliant white light, far greater than the crystals, blasted from her palm. It slammed into the vortex, causing the spectral energy to shimmer and crack. Uri! Kenebia gasped, stunned. Yuri's eyes were now glowing with that same radiant light. You thought the prophecy was yours to control, Elder. You thought the power of the oracle was a simple trick. You are wrong. I am the oracle. Not a vessel for your twisted power, but the true one, the light to your shadow. My ancestors were the keepers of Ngwochi's peace, and I will not let you corrupt it further. The swirling, malevolent energy of the vortex stopped instantly. A new, benevolent energy radiated from Uri, a peaceful light that washed over the elders, stripping them of their powers and causing their spectral ancestors to wail and dissipate into nothingness. The eye of the oracle shattered, its purpose fulfilled. The pounding rain ceased, replaced by a soft, gentle drizzle. The gentle sound of the rain and the earth filled the newly clean air, soon followed by the cheerful chatter of the villagers. Elder Obi and his acolytes lay defeated, their true treachery revealed to all. Kenebia and Uri stood in the kingdom square, not as fugitives, but as leaders, celebrated by their people for their freedom. No more shadows between us, Kenebia said, smiling, the gentle light of the real moon illuminating his face. Only the light of your power. Uri took his hand, her own no longer glowing, but warm. Our power, Kenebia. But listen, the chief priest warning, it lingers. The oracle was the curse, but what of the greater darkness he spoke of? The rain has stopped, but the sky is still bleeding with the moon and the sun. There is a new danger on the horizon, one we have yet to face. The story of Kenebia and Uri became a legend, a testament that the truest power lies not in fear or deception, but in the heart of those who dare to love and believe. Yet, the question hung heavy in the soft, moist air: had their victory truly saved the kingdom, or had they simply exchanged one nightmare for another? The prophecy isn't over, but the kingdom faces a greater evil. What danger lies beyond the reckoning? Subscribe, like, share, and ring the bell to see if Kenebia and Uri survive the next storm.